nobody else seemed to really think there was anything going on when I was saying it. So it's funny in hindsight, they're saying people were sending emails or saying whatever. I was being told the opposite, that he was fine. No one said anything to me. The last time I ever saw Tom was at the Jonathan Club. It was a meeting in the follow-up to, demanding that they pay the Ruigomez's back their money. And I gave him a copy of the book that we did, Brain Damage, the one behind me. And I took a photo with it. I knew it would probably be the last time I'd ever see him. I knew at that time. And I asked him if he would donate his brain to Mount Sinai Brain Bank in New York City, because I had done a lot of stuff with them. And Tom was very supportive of my work with brain banks and the moms from, the football world that were trying to get more brain banks involved in the research of, kids who had played collision sports. And he said yes. So, I brought it up on Dr. Oz and bringing it up again today. I mean, I'm going to continue to campaign for Tom's brain. And now that they're claiming that he has late, which is, asinine, then yeah, when he passes away, they should definitely give his brain so he can prove that he wasn't lying about not being able to stand trial.
Why did you suggest that one, why did you think that was the last time you were going to see him? And why did you suggest that he donate his brain at that point?
Because I thought that, I did not see it coming that he was going to claim incompetency for one. Okay. So that had nothing to do with it. It was the fact that, I knew that the Ruigomez's were going to sue, and, that I was going to take my case, and, get another attorney who wasn't stealing from their clients, or that was the hope at the time. And so I didn't think I would see him again once I fired him. I never thought I'd hear from him again. And I was surprised to get calls after. I mean, it was really surprising.
And you just think his brain should have been donated? What? Just because it was like a brilliant legal mind? Like up to that point, we didn't know about any of this.
Yeah, so it was basically, he had been in a car wreck. He had a brain injury. He had played sports when he was young. He's a big proponent of football. I mean, if you look at his high school yearbook, he doesn't say he wants to be a lawyer. He wanted to be the manager of the Rams. Rams.
Wow.
So, and it was because of the work on the NFL case. I mean, you got to think that the 10 years prior to this meeting, I spent 24/7, 365 days a year, traveling, flying, on the phone, doing interviews, talking to victims, talking to experts, talking to Tom, talking to lawyers, going to legal conferences all around brain injury, brain damage. I had flown and gone to Mount Sinai in Florida, many times to New York, to Mount Sinai there, to Mayo Clinic, Boston U, to look at these brain autopsies. Tom paid for all that. So it's like this, we're very connected on that particular topic. And so to me, here he's this famous lawyer. If he wants to, sort of salvage doing something right, then he should give his brain to the research and the science that I've been working on. It's the least that he could do after what he's done, basically just threw my son's case in the garbage.
Yes. Well, to your point, you were traveled around 365 for this very case. You wrote a book on it. So Kimberly, is Tom a brilliant lawyer that's now doing his final brilliant act, or does he truly have dementia?
Yeah, no, he's doing so they were in the competency hearing, they were talking about what the experts think his IQ is. And 108, 98, and 88. Notice I remember all three because I was just sitting there going, you've got to be kidding. Now, mind you, I understand there's EQ and IQ. right? And Tom's EQ is for certain off the charts. But even his IQ, I mean, he pulled off the ultimate scam for not like 5 years or 10 years, 4 decades. He got dozens of people to go along with this scam. He was able to get all areas of law enforcement, all levels of government, um, even quasi-government agencies like the bar, okay, all of the legal organizations and his peers prop him up. That shit is not done by somebody who's an idiot. There's no way. And he did mastermind for the most part of what happened for his firm, uh, at least the beginning decades of it. You know, so this started, they have complaints going back to 1982. That's when me and Kathy were in junior high, playing Charlie's Angels and riding our bikes to Taco Bell. Tom was already getting complaints. Okay, so imagine the timeline of mine and Kathy's life. You know, they knew when we were little kids that this guy was a scumbag, and he pulled it off until what? You know, until basically people inside the law firm were stealing so much and were so mad at Tom for not sharing enough of the stolen money that, you know, the beast eats itself from the inside out and it all comes tumbling down.
Yeah. So you think this is just all, do you think this is an act?
Oh, definitely. Definitely. I mean, to see his mistress, some guy that he gave millions to for some company that kind of did stuff for lawsuits or whatever, some defense attorney, you know, get up there and as the witnesses for Tom that, you know, he's really not faking it. He's, you know, doing terrible. And then you have, you know, the same expert who blew up, who did terrible in my case, Dr. Marikangas, who's a longtime friend of Tom's. Throughout the entire competency hearing, we hear that Marikangas is the one orchestrating all the experts. Okay, whoa. Okay, wait a minute. Who's Marikangas? Okay, Marikangas is a board certified neurologist and psychiatrist. Those are unusual to be double board certified in that. He has been a high profile expert witness in criminal cases of people with brain injury, brain damage for decades. And he's masterminding what experts are looking at Tom. And those people, Dr. Chu, the head of USC's medical center, is good friends with Marikangas, and Marikangas and his wife are calling her and getting her. That was only the first time in a civil case like this had Dr. Chu, the head of USC, ever testified in court. Clearly doing a favor for Dr. Marikangas, who I was told when he did terrible in my case that it was because he was losing his mind and he was up there in age, and that's why he didn't do well. But now, years later, he's still doing perfectly well to coordinate with the public defenders to get Tom a good chance of getting off the hook for having to stand trial. They're at least going to drag it out. So maybe he kicks the bucket anyway, or maybe he does get senile enough that it would be, I don't know. You know, I mean, the guy's 84 years old now. They've drug it out for years already. And even if the judge rules that he's competent,